All right, let's try this. This third time's the charm. I am just loving all of the technical difficulties from this evening. But for those of you watching the replay, I do apologize for the next probably about 30 seconds. If you want to skip ahead in the video, maybe about 30 to 45 seconds in is when the interview will actually start. But right now I am waiting on Sean to start watching the video live so I can add him into the stream. But Facebook Live was not wanting to work tonight. B Live was not wanting to work. My other option was not wanting to work. So we're going to see if we can get this one to work. Again, I apologize for those of you watching live right now. Just waiting on Sean to jump in. Once he does, I will be able to add him in. Send him a message real quick. Whew. Hope you guys have had an awesome day. Love it. Pumped up. Good things are happening. Just waiting on Sean. I believe that might be Sean. So Sean has liked the video. Live viewers, Sean, bring Sean. See if this works. Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Good Lord, there we go. Now it's working. How
Sorry,
are you?
man, I don't know what's going on.
No, you're all good. You know, I'm starting to think it's the B Live software. Let me set this down real quick.
Let me fix my phone up.
Let me see if I can get this. Sorry, I'm setting this down real quick.
That's what I'm doing. No worries.
Oh, there we go.
How you doing?
Awesome, man. How are you? We are live right now, by the way.
Cool. Hey, what's up, everybody?
All right, let me go on ahead and get this shared to all the necessary channels. But excited to finally talk to you. Been following your channel now for 2 months and just freaking love it.
Cool, man. Thanks, brother. I like what you're doing. That's awesome. Where do you live? Do you live in Colorado still or no?
No. So I moved from Colorado. I live in just north of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
So
I spent time in. I had a boot camp. I lived in Denver, Aurora.
Oh,
and I
awesome.
I used to go to Manitou Springs.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So I saw that you had Colorado Springs on there. So
I did. Yep. Love Colorado. You probably don't live in Colorado anymore, do you?
no, I'm in Florida.
I'm so mad at you right now because it's so freaking cold up here.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's
like
cold
2
here and it's
degrees.
67 degrees, and we think it's cold.
Let me get this shared out. For those of you watching live right now, I do apologize. I see there's 9 of you. You know what? While I'm still sharing this, we're going to go ahead and get things kicked off. If you guys are watching this on the traditional Facebook, I don't know why it's sideways. I apologize, but do apologize. For those of you watching the replay, excited to have you on. We have episode 44 today, which is fantastic. Things are just flying by, but I'm stoked because I have a YouTuber who's on today. As you guys know, Sean Davis, who is the founder of Crypto for the People, who's one of my favorite YouTubers. Crypto for the People is specifically in the cryptocurrency niche. And he's reached a lot of people. He's been one of the largest evangelists of cryptocurrency that I've seen online, who's typically always unbiased and just kind of presents to you how he sees things. It doesn't try to shove certain things down your throat. And that's what I love about him. Not to mention that I'd love to play your song right now, but Facebook would shoot this video down for copyright infringement. But he has an awesome intro. But Sean, I'm so blessed and excited to have you on, sir. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, man, I'm honored to be here. I like what you're doing, man. I'm a huge entrepreneur. I've got it in my blood, and I feel humbled and lucky that I've been able to make this YouTube thing work. I know, it's been they say that success. Yeah, I'm a big believer, reader of Think and Grow Rich, that type of thing. And there's one phrase in there that he talks about, and he says success will come at some point like a tidal wave, and it's sort of what's happened to me in the last few months. So it's pretty cool.
It's been wild. I mean, I remember I picked up on your channel when it was at like 900 subscribers, and you're blowing up. I think you're almost
Yeah.
at 14,000.
Yeah. It's been amazing, man. And it's been cool. The thing is, it's funny because I got into cryptocurrency um, in January of 2016, and I didn't have a YouTube channel or anything. I literally just I saw a Joe Rogan interview where he interviewed Andreas Antonopoulos, who's a big Bitcoin evangelist, and decided to buy a little bit of cryptocurrency. So I bought a little bit at like $400, and it seemed like a lot then. It seemed very high. And then I just started to like really like delve into it and delve into it. And I was reading these books and like listening to books on tape about it. And like while I was driving to work, I was like listening to these things. I was thinking like, why am I so into this? You know what I mean? Like, and now that I have this channel, it was this 2 years of understanding. I mean, I'm like, why do I really care how a blockchain actually works? Um, but I did. It was kind of like I nerded out about it, and so now it's kind of cool because I remember thinking to myself like, why am I so into this? Why am I getting so technical? But now I can kind of see why, because it's given me a foundation.
So
Sometimes
then,
you don't see
question
it while
for
it's
you.
happening. Yeah,
Question for you then, Sean. So the way I do these interviews, I stick to three kind of buckets to help make the interview go pretty smooth, keep us to about
cool.
25 minutes, but help keep you kind of focused as well, the person I'm interviewing. I would love to learn your story. So that's the first question I ask everybody. Can you kind of tell us what has led you to be an entrepreneur? Was there a certain event, and then like the progression of you moving through all your businesses up to you actually investing in cryptocurrency and making this your bull run, and just changing your life?
Sure. I'll try to keep it short. I can get all over the place. So I have always I've done a lot of different things. I've been a stockbroker. Okay, I was a stockbroker for 10 years, but I also had I got out of stockbroking and I was a gym salesman. So like when you go into a gym with like a 2 week pass and some guy sits you in the hot box and tries to sell you a membership. I used to do that for gyms, and I would like become the manager. I was a manager of gyms and stuff like that. Anyways, I saw a big need for at one point for we're getting all these people in the door for gym memberships, and it's weird that I'm talking about gym memberships right now, but I literally would get these people in and they didn't know what to do, and so I was signing these people up for gym memberships but I wouldn't see, like 6 months later I wouldn't see any of them. And they all needed personal training. So I started, I kind of I got heavy at one point in my life, and fell into doing my own like boot camp. Like I would like just do burpees and bear crawl and jump rope, and I got in super good shape. And so my wife and I opened a boot camp in Denver, Colorado, Aurora. Just decided to make our own dream. We're gonna have our own business and do it. And we did it, man. It's kind of cool. Like we gave ourselves a year for. This is a kind of a cool thing. For 9 months, I had 3 or 4 customers, and I rented out like a big warehouse. It was 2,000 square feet, but it was I rented it out. Gave myself in 9 months. I had 12. I had 4 people, and so I really started trying to mastermind. I was reading Think and Go Rich. I was trying all my old tricks. Um, and I heard somebody. I got on a mastermind call and I heard somebody talk about a Groupon. You're familiar with Groupon?
Yeah.
So Groupon.com, they give you, it's like they used to send emails and you get like a coupon. Well, it was right when it came out in like 2009. So I did a Groupon for my boot camp, and it was like, so I was charging like $100 a month to the boot camp, but I did a Groupon for $17 a month to try it, and then and so I gave it a shot. And I was trying to get people in for free. I was giving people free months and they weren't coming. And I got 700 people in one day in Denver to buy my Groupon. So I went from 3 people to 700 people. Like next day, I was like scrambling, trying to get. I had 7 different
That's
classes.
crazy.
Yeah. So and what I did was I just realized that was like the tidal wave I just talked about. Success is like a tidal wave. I figured out a way. Like sometimes everything's kind of like playing a game. I used to play football, and a lot of businesses like that too. Is there's a game involved, and if you learn how to play a game in a successful way, You know what I mean? And it takes playing the game for a while to learn what you're good at, what doesn't work, and that type of thing. And then you find that other people who are playing the game well, and you go like, "How are you playing this game?" And you go, "Oh, you're using that," you know. So I did the Groupon thing for a while. Every 6 months, I do a new Groupon, and I was doing great. But at that point, I had my wife. We lived in Denver. She had gotten it's a disease called Hashimoto's, and it's just it's an autoimmune disease. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but she got like migraines from should I go like this?
There we go. Perfect.
I got migraine. She got migraines from the altitude and the cold weather. So we had to leave. We had to leave our business, and we had this business. We loved it, dude. But I was there literally. I mean, I told you I had 7 classes. I have 3 kids. So I was there in the mornings. I was there in the evenings. So was she. We did it together. So I literally bought myself a job.
Did you write your book during the same time, or was the book
actually wrote it? Well, I went through that. We went through the process of the burpee challenge during there, but I didn't write the book.
Gotcha.
But I had dreams of getting on the web and all that. But at that point, we were working all the time. I had kids, and I still have kids, obviously. But it was like, you think of being a business owner, and you think of owning the business. Well, I was the business, and so was she. And so we decided that because she lived in Colorado and there was the cold weather and the altitude, we decided to move to Florida. And we sat there one day, and she's like, "Well, we have the business," and we were kind of talking about what to do. And I said, "Nikki, where do you want to live?" And she said, "I'd love to live on the beach in Florida because my parents lived out here." And I said, "We have one life to live on this earth, me and you. Like, what I mean? That's all I know. I mean, there could be another one, I don't know. But like, all I know right now is we have this one life. Why would we spend it?" And then Denver was a great place, but I just said, "Why don't we go exactly where we want to go? Why don't we do exactly what we want to do? Because we like running a business, but I don't like being here all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I like helping people. I like that." So that was when we decided to just sort of like try to create our own lives. And so from there, we moved to Florida. We did a boot camp out of a gym here, but I got the idea of doing a burpee book. So we did a book on during this time, my wife did 100 burpees for a year straight is what she did. So we had a challenge where you did 100 burpees for 100 days straight, and it got people in really good shape. You missed a day, you had to do like 200 the next day. And like I said, she had Hashimoto's, which was it's a thyroid condition, and so she had gotten. We owned a gym. She'd gotten, she was like a 110-pound lady who went to 200 pounds and was running a gym, and there's nothing wrong with being 200 pounds, but she didn't. It wasn't who she thought she was. So, anyways, she did the 100 burpee challenge for 100 days and changed the way she ate also big time, but she liked the feeling of like, because burpees have this whole like, if you ever done burpees, they suck, they suck, they suck the wind out of you, they get you super tired. They're just the epitome of like hard work, And so she went on for a whole year. She did 100 burpees a day for an entire year and got down to 110 pounds and totally changed the way she looked. She still kept the weight off. So it was pretty cool. So that's the book idea. And so what she did it, I did a video about it is what happened. I literally right when she did the year, I did a video, and a guy who has like 500,000 followers, a fitness guy, wrote an article about it, about her burpee challenge, and then shared it, and it went viral, and we had like 250,000 views, and we were getting letters from like people all over the world, like emails, like, "Hey mate, I'm from Australia and I'm doing the burpees," and we were getting like, so it was really cool to inspire, it was awesome to inspire people. I love that. The deal was, though, I didn't make a lot of money from it. So I had people all over the world doing my burpees, but like I wasn't benefiting financially a lot from that. So I tried a lot of different things online from there. I tried like a fitness website. I got into some marketing groups. But the thing that really took off is once the YouTube happened. I got on YouTube and I just started sharing my passion about cryptocurrency. So I realized I can talk about cryptocurrency like all day. Like I can literally, like, if someone stops me on the street, they're like, "Hey, you got a Bitcoin book, or you got a Bitcoin shirt on," and I'm like sitting there like 2 hours later, like just in their face talking about it. I just don't stop. So it's just natural. It's something I'm really curious about. It's something I really believe in. And so when those two marriages came together, I just talked on. You know what I mean? Like I just talked on. I just that's all I do. I don't even. I mean, half the time I don't even. I prepare a couple things and then I just talk, and then I try not to censor myself. But I think just being authentic and doing something you really love, um, for me, has been awesome. And so it's been a crazy roller coaster ride from there. So hope that makes
So
sense.
then, no, it makes perfect sense. And thank you again for sharing your story. That helps put a lot of context behind it. But so then, question for you: the second bucket I usually focus on is current projects or future projects. But obviously, since you're focused on YouTube and cryptocurrency is kind of your niche, I guess my first question before we jump into current projects would be, what along the lines when you got into cryptocurrency made you say, this is real, this is going to be a huge transfer of wealth, and not think this is a giant scam? Because back when you got in, there was what, a $10 billion market cap? It was pretty small.
Yeah, it was super small. I listened to some people, like, so I listened to Andreas Antonopoulos. And that's one of the things, that's what I try to do with my channel, is I try to give that same passion. Because that's what I did when I was a boot camp coach, is I would give people the passion for fitness, and then they would go off on their own and have that same passion. And they would get their friends into, like, half marathons and all sorts of stuff. They just took off with it. And that's what happened to me. Well, I listened to Andreas Antonopoulos, but I really got the idea that I didn't know, like, here in America, I don't know that there's people out there who don't have banks. I know that from internet marketing, and I don't know if you do internet marketing. You probably do a little
Yep.
bit.
Yep.
So you know about, like, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 leads.
Yep.
So tier 1 leads are people like you and me who have a credit card. I imagine you have, like, a credit card. Tier 3 leads are people who don't have that, right? The reason they're called tier 3 leads and they're bottom and we don't really want them on our leads is because they have no way to pay us. They literally don't have any, you know what I mean? So, and in order to pay us, they have to have a bank built. And to have a bank built, someone has to literally go there and build a bank. So, what does that mean? That the fact that they can have that on the phone is and then, so without it, they can't participate. They might have the best idea. I could live in a village in Africa, have the best idea in the world. I could have, like, maybe invented free energy. I mean, who knows what I could have had. But if I don't have any way of taking payment or storing value, then I'm kind of crap out of luck. If you get my drift. It's
Sure, yeah.
So I just thought that it was that it's gonna. I just knew that it would be pervasive. I knew that we're living in a digital world, and that that money wasn't digital. That's the one thing that hadn't changed. And when I really got a look at how much money, so that was the thing, the banking and all that, and then just that it was easier to transact. But when I really got a look at how much money is out there, when I got the idea that, so people compare it to like a stock, sort of. They're like, hey, you should sell that. And the fact that there's such a limited supply of them, okay? There's a limited supply. There's 21 million that will ever be created of Bitcoin. Now, there's a lot of different cryptocurrencies, but it's just like there could be a lot of, and that's an argument people make, is there's going to be 2,000 cryptocurrencies. They're all going to have a bunch of coins. So there's not really a limited supply. Well, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, and there's Snapchat. I'm sure there's 1,000 other platforms that have tried to be developed in social media, but people pick just a few of them that they like. And that's what we have with Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Bitcoin's the first mover, and it's the name people recognize, and it's the one. So there's a limited supply of that. And there's literally there's 7 trillion in currency, there's 7 trillion in gold, there's 70 trillion in the stock market, there's hundreds of trillions of real estate, there's in the futures market, there in the derivatives market, there's $533 trillion on the low side. So what does that mean? There is so much money that can come over to this thing if just a portion of it comes over. That is what that and that's what we're seeing. You know, that's what we're seeing is that they don't make any more of them. It's just like a toy at Christmas time. I've got kids. There's usually a popular toy. You go into your local Walmart, and it's gone. Right? Everybody wants that one toy. They've only made a certain supply of them, and they're gone. So what do? If you want that toy, you got to go on eBay, and it was a $20 toy. Someone's going to charge you $300 for it because there's such a limited supply, and that's what we have with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So
then kind of a follow-up question for you. So I've heard a lot of people say things like, well, we're at 600 million or $600 billion market cap right now. I don't really see this growing much further. You know, regardless of that statement, for the people that feel like right now is too late to get into the game, and you kind of just explained right there that it's not too late. We're still at the perfect cusp, like that video you shared with Gary Vee talking about. So I guess the real question I'm trying to get to is understanding that people now get that we're still early to the party. What are things that you look for in coins that you invest in personally? What makes a coin special? You know, if there's 2,000 coins, how do you pick a Verge or an Electronium?
Well, that's great. I don't have any real qualifications, but I just have a sense of what's special. So I try not to do like another Bitcoin, or like another the exact same coin. Okay. It's got to have some sort of mass appeal. Right now, I've got an idea that, that Bitcoin is the first mover, but at some point there's going to be, it's slow. There's some other stuff that's out there that's actually better. Okay. So I'm looking for the next Bitcoin because Bitcoin has got less than 1% of the population in it. Okay. And so if you want to know that, if you want to think that, is there room to grow? There's absolutely room to grow. I think that it's going to be as pervasive as this telephone, right? I mean, we live in a digital world. It makes sense that we're going to have digital money. Like I can literally, if I wanted to send money to London, it would be faster for me to take my cash and get on a flight to London than it would be to fly to send money there, right? But I can literally, me and you can sit here and have a conversation digitally with a ton of bandwidth over, you know what I mean? So, so it makes sense that it'll work. It is a better, it is a better money for a digital age. If we weren't in a digital age, I wouldn't think so. But I mean, everybody knows where their phone is at all times. The technology is going to win. But as far as looking for coins, so what I'm looking for is I'm trying to find something that's going to get the other 99%. The reason I picked Electronium as one that I think is going to do well is because it's made some changes to Bitcoin that I see people someone's knocking on my door. I got kids running around the house. But I see if I see people, I deal with people all the time. People always ask me about Bitcoin, and I see that they have a problem understanding it. They don't get that it's so expensive, that it's, you can divide it into a millionth. If you want to, $100 worth of $150 worth of Bitcoin right now is 0.01 Bitcoin, I think. It could be wrong in my head, but you know what I mean? That just doesn't sound like $150 to people. They don't understand blocks. They don't understand mining. They don't understand, and I don't think they have to. I don't think you should have to spend 6 months learning about, the like computer science of blockchain in order to use it. I don't think people will. Literally don't. I did, and so therefore I'm an early adopter. But but I don't think that's going to happen. So I do think that another coin is. I like to say that I think Bitcoin is like MySpace. And when MySpace came out, I'd heard about it. I'm an older guy. I was older. I was in my 30s at the time. I went in. I looked at it. I just didn't get it. I'm like, this is kind of weird, But then when Facebook came out, Facebook was smooth and I could understand it. I'm like, oh, you just hit the like button. Boop. I'm like, oh, I just put, here, post. It says, what's on your mind, Sean? Oh, let me put something, right? Oh, I just scroll down, look at the pictures, it was real easy. And so there's going to be something that comes out that's going to be that way for people. Okay. And so that's going to catch on. People are gonna find it easier to use, and because cryptocurrency is easy to use once you learn how to do it. But it's just like the biggest question is how do I buy Bitcoin? And I have to sit there and go, okay, how long do I have to, I look at my watch and go, do I have an hour to talk about this guy, how to buy Bitcoin? And then I know in 2 hours he's going to call me back and say, okay, now I got an account, like, what do I do? Like, it's not easy for people to understand, I guess. So there's huge upside to it. Could it all go to zero? Absolutely. At some point, I don't know the black swan that could come, right? So there is definite risk. But there's also, it's so there definitely is risk involved, but so can stocks. Like, I got a brother who's a stockbroker, and I was a stockbroker during 2008 when everything went down. And listen, everything went down in half. So there's risk on all sides. But to put it in perspective, the big thing that gets me is there's going to be if cryptocurrency becomes the new money, we have to take the old money, right? If you want to get into cryptocurrency, if you want to use cryptocurrency, if that's the new money that people are taking online, everybody starts doing, you're going to have to take your old money and make it into cryptocurrency. Nobody's going to give it to you. Nobody, you're not going to airdrop it. It's going to be, it's just like if I went to Switzerland and I wanted to buy Swiss francs. Like, the government wouldn't just be like, here's your Swiss francs while you're here. You got to buy. I'd have to take my dollars and trade my money into their money, right? And that's the same with cryptocurrency. So if you're in early, right, then you collect the coins, the limited supply of them, and then as more money comes in, the value rises. And so that's a key trend, because like there's a lot of trends that have been out there, right? And so like the cell phone, the smartphone was a trend. And like if you were the first adopter of the smartphone, you just got to use the smartphone longer, right? Like you were just getting information on your smartphone. It was pretty cool, but you didn't make millions of dollars, like because of this, because like there was not a transfer of wealth. It was just easier information. This is the whole change of money, like something we've never seen in our lifetimes, in your parents' lifetimes, in your grandparents' lifetimes. If this thing becomes big, which evidence is showing that it's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. It's on CNBC. It's going to be on the stock market. They're opening up 1 million accounts at Coinbase. They're selling more and more hardware wallets. Just evidence upon evidence. Google searches are up. It's just evidence and evidence that people are more and more interested, opening more and more accounts. And we're still at less than 1% of the population's in it. So
the question for you.
That makes sense. Yeah.
As all these companies are coming in, because it's still the Wild West right now. There's a bunch of companies throwing out random tokens and just random ICOs, and nothing's really vetted. Do you think that we're going to head more towards a regulated kind of world where governments basically say cryptocurrency is the stepchild of the family, redheaded stepchild, and we'll treat it like securities and stocks? Or do you think governments are going to do like what Venezuela is doing right now and create their own coins, so replace the US dollar with a US dollar coin?
It's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I honestly don't. I think they're going to regulate. I think they're going to regulate, and it might not be a bad idea. So depending, because meaning like if they can, like I think part of the drawback is that it is unregulated. So there are scams out there. So let's say there weren't scams, right? If they had to have some sort of rules, that were like reasonable, you know what I mean? Then there would be less scams. There'd be more people. You wouldn't hear about people getting, scammed and that type of thing. So it might not be such a bad thing, right? But I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, obviously the governments are going to want to get in on this. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see a country. I mean, think about the economy of a country that became a crypto safe haven. Come to our country, our tropical land, with your cryptocurrency. Will be really easy on taxes on you, and we'll have a crypto-friendly environment. Just imagine the economy on that, because
I just see that, and I don't think that the game. I mean, we see or seeing some crazy gains right now, but that's not going to last forever. You know what I mean? It's just as people are buying in the cryptocurrency, the big wave. So we're ahead of the wave now, but once the wave is done, it's gonna have like stock market type returns, 20%, which is great. But I mean, we're seeing 3,000%, 3,500% returns in a year in cryptocurrency this year. You put $10,000 in at the beginning of the year, you turn it to 350 G's this year. If we do another year like that, it's over $10 million with that 10,000 you started 2 years ago. And all accounts are saying, like all signs are that it's speeding up. So what happens? I don't know, man. But it's one of those things where at one point in my life, I bought some coins and I just said to myself, I think this is going to be big. I think this is going to be pervasive. I think this is going to be like the iPhone. I think it's going to be like the internet. And I said, how sure are you in my head? This is like, I had to ask myself the question. I said, I'm 95% sure. And I said, so if you're 95% sure, why don't you go for it, man? And that's what I did. So I went for it. And I made mistakes along the way. I've learned a lot of different things, but it's paid off like immensely. So, so far.
I love it. I love it. I do want to respect your time, though. I'm like you. I could talk for 9 hours about cryptocurrency, and I have a million questions for you. But I'll ask you the last question I have everybody on the show answer. And that is there anything right now that's on your heart or on your mind, Sean, that you want people to know about? That can either be about you or a specific cause or just whatever.
Man, I don't know. I think there's a lot of, I guess, yeah, there's, something that's helped me out just in terms of is just mindset. I think, a lot of people have limiting beliefs and you can help yourself with those limiting beliefs. No matter what you're doing, whether it's fitness, whether it's money, whether it's whatever. And that's just like, coming up with a definite chief aim, like really thinking about what you want out of your life. Like really, what do you want out of your life and writing it down? Like I have it right here. I've got it right here in front of me. I got a whole book. I write, I do, and so I've got a definite chief aim. I write, I read it every morning and it focuses my attention. So I'm not going to go real long, but what that means is that like, if I'm just going to drive in a car, right. And I drive and I'm looking for a Jeep. Like if I'm just going to work, I just go to work and I don't see anything. But if I'm like looking for, if let's just say my wife's like, hey, I'd like to buy a Jeep. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. Let's look at Jeeps. I start seeing Jeeps everywhere because my mind is now focused on Jeeps. The Jeeps have been passing me all along, but I just didn't see them because I wasn't focused on them. So whatever you focus on, you're going to find in your life. So focus on what you want, I guess is what I'm saying, and write it down, make some goals, and set the intention in your head, right? And then also stay positive. There's so many negative things you can talk about, you can think about, and just me in general, I can sit there and think about, like I can dwell on something that's wrong in my life, but I have 1,000 things that are amazing. So when I get up is I start writing, I just list things that I think are things I like. That's what I say. What do I like? I like the morning. I like coffee. I like my dog, Roxy. I like my dog, and I just start thinking about things I like. And I think that's important. So positive mental attitude, which you can handle with a gratitude list in the morning, and then write down what you want in your life and go for it and don't listen to anybody else.
I love it. That's such a great way to end. Sean, I really appreciate you being on, and you've dropped a lot of knowledge nuggets tonight, especially towards the beginning. But for those of you watching live or the replay, I do apologize for the lack of professionalism in tonight's show. We had mass technical difficulties, so I do apologize for that. But once the show
you handled it well.
Do what?
You handled it well, man. You did good.
I was like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to go with option 5 at this point. But, guys, once this video is down from being live, I'm going to link everything down below. Please go show him some love. Follow him on YouTube. Watch his stuff. At the very least, watch the beginning of one of his episodes so you can watch him do his drum thing. It's awesome. I love it. But definitely go support Sean. He's awesome. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to him. He is the real deal. But, Sean, I really appreciate you being on tonight, sir. I'd love to respect your time. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
No. Hey, I appreciate you having me on. This is a great show, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Of course. Thanks, Sean. You have a good one.
Thanks, brother. You too, man.